This job right here is for a customer. His name is Brock Mills. He needs 2 of these. To save some time, I went ahead and made a false drag for the handle, and I have an X marked on the handle and an X scratched in this just to orientate this where it's the same. Well, it is February the 5th, and man, it is cooking out here. It is 78 degrees. I'm only going to go around all the flat surfaces with this grain. I'm not going to worry about trying to go uphill with it. I am going to clean out a little bit. This is pretty much ready, but there is a few spots I want to get rid of this real steep bank. So I'm going to just kind of cope in, like, not cope in. Just like that. I want to make sure I don't have any potential areas for that sand to grab when I get ready to separate this on the last part. And the same thing I'm going to do right here. I want to avoid any negative draft, and that means anywhere on this surface. Everything needs to have a slope to it. When I get ready to cut my sprue, I'm going to flip it over and do that on the other side. I don't know why, but this week has went by slower than normal, which is good. It seemed like Saturdays were starting to come every other day, and that's not good. I can remember a time when I used to wish for that, but not now. Well, I could just about cut a fan off. I just let gravity do the work when I can. Now I'm putting my runner right at the very bottom, and it'll fill in both ways. So this is actually going to fill from right here on the very inside of the handle. And we're going to vent this. That ought to work. So with this upside down, the yellow brass is going to come through the hole, shoot down the runner, enter the gate, and flow uphill on both ends. And this will vent off the gases. Now, I want to do one more thing I didn't think to do on the other one. Hopefully it won't need it. Let's just vent that end where the threaded section goes up in there. Well, I guess before I do anything else, we'll go ahead and knock these three molds out. These two, of course, are the handles. And that one there, if you're familiar with an old-timey electric fan, if I didn't show you earlier, that's what that is, that little fan arbor. It's been an hour since I poured these, and no thicker than they are, we can go ahead and dump them. Very close. All right. Well, I tried to gate in on the edge of each blade, thinking that was going to be sufficient spot, and it isn't. We will do this again tomorrow. Those blades are so thin, it's going to be difficult. That will polish out nice once I get a good one. This is a drawer pull handle. That turned out. All right. Looks like that one turned out. That's good. Yeah, that's good. This is a machinist hammer. And it looks like that turned out. Yep, that turned out looking good. Alright, we're going to clean them up now. Well, my friends, I am congested like you wouldn't believe. But these are the two drawer handles that we have, and I still got to polish them up. I hit them a little bit, and then I realized, well, I still got to drill the holes and tap those. So until I get that done, I don't need to worry about getting them too clean. This was supposed to be that, and as you can see, it didn't fill out on the ends. Now this is some very thin material, and I was surprised it turned out as well as that with us tapping into the edge here. As I said earlier in the video, I think if we go ahead and gate in on the very tips and put an open riser right here all the way up, that'll fill fast and be sufficient. And this is just a little machinist hammer, nothing special about that. I wanted to do a test polish on this piece to make sure that that's going to clean up good, and it looks really good. Well, guys, I wanted to introduce you to a buddy of mine, Mike Smathers. Mike is from New York. What part of New York?
Rochester.
Anyway, he's down visiting here in Mississippi, and we had an event last year, late last year in the fall, in Auburn, New York, where we had a meet and greet, and this guy is the one that's responsible. He was the one that took charge and made it happen. Mike organized everything, and we couldn't have done it without him. But anyway, I'm honored to have him here today. All the way from New York down here.
Come down and come see my buddy, and wanted to drop in and say hey to you. It was really good to have you and Keith come to the event there in Auburn at Mr. Fred Kerr's shop.
Yeah,
it was really nice to get to shake the hand of the people that do so much and help make us smarter people.
Well, I don't know that I've played much of a part in that. But I have taken video of this event, and I haven't figured out a good time to put it out there. Well, I may as well just tie it in with this right now.
That sounds good.
Fred Kerr, he put up the place for us to meet at, and Fred was explaining to me this machine shop of his is actually originally it was a foundry from 18.
You got me.
I don't want to say for sure, but it's 1850s maybe.
Tractor factory.
Yeah, and then
International, I think.
Yeah. So it's pretty neat. So you'll probably enjoy it. I hope I was able to get. I haven't reviewed the video lately, but I'll show you everything I got on that particular meet and greet.
He sure did have a nice shop, and I got to say, him and his wife, they also fed us pretty doggone good.
Yeah, they did.
They brought us in one hell of a nice dinner.
Yeah.
And we had probably 30 people or so there.
Yeah.
It was real nice to have everybody come out to see Keith and Clark.
And
Fred's shop.
That's the other thing. We had people that came quite a ways. And I hate we had to do it in the middle of the week like that. It was on a weeknight when we did it. And there were several people drove how many hours?
5 to 6. There were some people that come up from down near New York City. There were some folks that come up from central Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and they had to go back home that night to be at work. So
people from all over the place.
And if you guys are listening, if you are the people that we're talking about, if I didn't get a chance to tell you then, I'm telling you now, it was an honor to meet you, and I'm so glad we were able to do this, and I'm glad you were able to make it out there to attend. In the meantime, Mike, I think he's going to be down here for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Probably come out and come see you again.
All right.
Maybe if I get a chance, I'll come out here and give you a hand doing
Okay.
whatever you need done out here.
Careful what you say.
Oh, stop. May as well take advantage of it while you can.
Yeah. Well, it's always good to see you. He also brought a buddy of his, Mike McWhorter. McWhorter. And Mike, you live north of Carthage somewhere, right? Lena. Okay. All right. So that's just up 13 from here.
Clark sure does have a whole lot of really interesting things going on here. Probably not my business to say, but he's got some really cool stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Definitely stay tuned because you'll see some pretty nifty stuff.
Yeah. Well, I've already announced the Project 2025 cannon that we're going to be working on, and hopefully that's going to be poured by November.
Right there.
Yep, right here in our future pit that's probably going to be there as of next week, and I'll keep you informed on that as well. All right. Talk to you later.
Take care, everybody.
So Keith and I attended a meet and greet here in Auburn, New York, and we are having it at Mr. Fred Kerr's shop, and I'm fixing to give you a quick little introduction to him and explain what I found out about this place. It started out as a foundry in this building where we're at, and it was called the Auburn Works, and this is the original plaque that was on the outside of the building. This is an actual drawing from 1902 that shows everything, and the building that we're currently in is right here. But most of this is long gone down here below. And here is one of the original blueprint plats. It shows everything. Again, it shows the foundry building right here that we're in. Osborne has been around since 1858 up until they were running the foundry, from what I understand, up until prior to World War II. So it operated almost 100 years. So Fred was telling me that we are in the Osborn Works, which started out in 1858.
1858.
And here's some old illustrations right here. And this,
This was next door, up the river from us.
Okay.
They relocated in here around World War II and converted this building into a machine shop.
Okay.
They converted it from a foundry to a machine shop. Here's a drawing from 1902. And this is what was originally here.
Oh, wow. That's
We're
a big
in building
plant.
number 10.
Yeah.
And we walked in there.
So most of this is gone now, I
Most
guess.
of this is gone. This is still here, this front, when you drive down Osborne Street. This series is here.
Uh-huh.
They had a canal. There's a dam upriver. It went through the building here for hydropower.
Okay.
They also had a dam here that was Hardenberg's dam. He was the original settler of Auburn, and that went through this part of the building for more hydropower.
Okay.
And there was also mills over here that were drawing water off of it. This is the building where the plaque was bolted on the front of.
Okay.
So there's almost 30 buildings here.
Right.
Then they had two other complexes in Auburn. They had a twine mill that made their twine for the hay balers and the binders. And they also had their malleable iron works. And if you look over here, here's a blueprint drawing of our building.
Okay.
And you can get dimensions, and it tells that it was a foundry. Here are the cupolas that they melted the iron in, and the coke and the pig iron.
Wow.
Well, this is really neat.
Over here is a night shot of the factory.
Oh, yeah.
And this is looking up Osborne Street here. And our building is probably right here.
Uh-huh. Very neat.
I was just looking at your Hammond, that little router, the Hammond router. Unbelievable.
1929, they became part of the Elko conglomeration. They made the diesel engines for the locomotives here.
Hey.
This is Daisy, one of our
Daisy.
shop dogs.
Hey, Daisy.
We
It's
just
good to see
adopted
you.
her about a year ago.
It's good to see you.
And Daisy eats everything.
I can see that. Daisy is starving to death, hasn't eaten in
is.
weeks. Yes, I can tell.
These are some
Put this on the planer there with
the guy standing
the
inside
guy
the
standing inside of the That's an engine block, I guess.
I think are parts to one of them right there.
Yeah.
I have another photo out back, and it shows two guys running the planer doing 2 engine blocks at one side.
Wow.
Look at this casting, Clark.
Yeah.
They casted that there here in Auburn.
Wow. That's some serious art to be able to do that.
Here.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That's amazing.
So it started out when?
1850. I'm gonna walk down through.
Weather's better than your house now.
Oh yeah, yeah it is. It's
Ran these a lot. I run about before
it's been
You had that
yeah. We had a lot bigger crowd than this. I'm just now thinking about shooting a video. And anyway, it was a huge honor to be able to meet all these friends that we have now. But yeah, Keith and I had a great time, and we got to meet a lot of interesting people tonight. Some drove quite a ways to come out here for this. And we have Mr. Fred Kerr here, who has graciously donated some time for us to spend in his building, and it's an awesome place. But there's a lot of rich history here, so it means a lot to be able to do this event here in this location. So thank you, Fred.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys motivate me to do stuff.
Well.
Keep me motivated. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you for coming.
All right.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, like I said, I wanted to catch this group before they took off because I could kick myself for not doing this earlier. Oh, and this is, I'm sorry, Jeff. I left Jeff out the whole time, didn't I?
That's all right.
And Fred.
He's a longer arm.
Yeah.
Go ahead, do your photos.
Y'all, this is I don't know what they call it. I'm calling it a planer grinder, a metal grinder.
Type surface grinder.
Yeah, you have a metal planer, which is like what I have, and this is a metal grinder, which works a lot like the metal planer, except with a rotary grinding head. So I've never seen one of these in my life.
All these machines with the ugly green on them, or most of them, came out of E.D. Clapp, which was a drop forging factory here in Auburn.
Wow. Yeah, and I see what you're talking about. They got the limit switches on it. Originally, this probably would have had a side drive train like my metal planer. I saw it, but I couldn't read it.
He's just kind of burned out on it, yeah. I saw him at the batch this past year.
He was very clear about half a dozen
Counterweight.
years ago that he might have enough.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because
You say 1906.
Yeah, there's a
as I said earlier,
dairy.
he was kind of like my initial.
Oh yeah,
inspiration. I mean, while I never-
1905.
And there's, you can go around the back
And then,
kind of here. You can.
I'm not that I ever expect Robin Renzetti to do much, but he hadn't said that.
I'm amazed at the unique machinery that surrounds us in this building. And Fred, along with Mike Smathers, sitting there in the chair by Keith, these two guys organized the meet and greet. So I wanted to tell you guys how much Keith and I really appreciated this, and it was a pleasure not only meeting you guys, but getting to see the faces that are looking at Keith and I when we do these videos.
It's my pleasure to help out.
Well,
It was mine too. An honor to have you guys here.
well, there was the original cupola was, if you see where my finger's pointing, there is an adjacent wall right there, and the cupolas were right on the other side of that wall. And then the sand chute came in right here. They had the sand barn was right here, right?
Yep.
And he said all that sand is still back there, and I'll show you some of the stuff that he dug up out here. Yeah, that was our spread earlier. We had quite a bit of food. This is some of the slag from the furnace. And this is, you guys probably can identify this. This was the pouring basin. They used a very shallow basin compared to what I do. And here's a piece of the core sand. Pretty cool. But Fred has quite a collection of things here. And like I said, I'm not going to take you through all that in the back room back there again. But if you take a look at the metal grinder, I never seen one of those in my life. Fred's got one. But before I let you go, I wanted to show you one thing. Well, I'm showing you a bunch, but check out this old wood joiner. And it's a 12-inch wood joiner, and it has a horseshoe cast into it. I have never seen one of these. And I pay attention to wood joiners. I've never seen this kind of pattern. But anyway, I thought you guys would find that interesting. But yeah, we had a great time. Got to meet some great people out here, and a lot of them drove several hours out here to meet us, and this is a weekday, so it wasn't easy for them to do. And if you're watching this video, I just wanted to let you know once again, it was an honor to meet you. And as I told them, I can put a face when I'm looking at that empty camera when I'm out in the shop by myself. I can actually see these faces now and visualize who I'm talking to. So thank you. For those who have been asking about the Windy Hill Foundry hats, these are now available on my website, windyhillfoundry.com, under stores, or you can click on the above link. These are on the pricey side, but keep in mind the shipping is included. Have a good day.